This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 501. My name is Daniel Smokowski, and I'm the founder of Special Chronicles and a Special Olympics Southern Tribal International Global Messenger. Before we begin today's episode, a few housekeeping reminders. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs, and sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. This week on the Special Chronicles show is we welcome our friend and fellow Special Olympics athlete Lynna Hodgson from Special Olympics Missouri. Please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Lynna to the Special Chronicles show. Welcome, Lynna. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And so we've known each other for, I feel like we've known each other for a few years, maybe around the pandemic time. It was probably around the time that we met with all these virtual athlete leadership gatherings, events. And so, but why don't we begin and have you introduce yourself to our listeners, your connection to our Special Olympics movement and special needs community, and share with our listeners, in your words, how we first met virtually, kind of like how we're talking virtually now, but then also where we met and kind of lead it up to where we met in person.
Yeah, great. So I'm Lynna Hodgson. I'm an athlete leader, global messenger, health messenger for Special Olympics and Special Olympics Missouri. Like Daniel said, we've met online a couple of times.
Yep.
I can't remember how many times.
Yeah.
But yes, and we met in person finally.
Yes, finally.
At Jefferson City. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, in Jefferson City. That was, so for listeners, we're recording this on the 10th of November, 2022. So by the time you all hear this, it will be the 21st of November, so the week of the Thanksgiving holiday. But so it was about a month ago, right? Last month?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so it was great to be there at your Training for Life campus. And for listeners, if you missed that keynote talk that I gave from Challenges to Opportunity, we'll put a link in the show notes on specialchronicles.com for episode 501. But if you go back to last week's episode, the 500th episode, you can listen to that talk that you all kindly gave me a standing ovation for that. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun to be there. Also, listeners, if you want to hear more about the Training for Life campus for Special Olympics Missouri. You can listen to episode 499, where we bring you along with us on an exclusive sound scene audio tour. So I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes. But yeah, so go back and listen to the last 2 episodes and kind of hear about the adventures that I had in visiting Lynna and Special Olympics Missouri. We're going to go ahead and take a short break to let all you know how you can support this podcast. And then we'll dive right into Lynna's leadership journey and with her athlete leadership journey and in particular focus on technology. And so we'll be right back. Our guest is Lynna Hodgson. Lynna from Special Olympics Missouri, right here on specialchronicles.com. We'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And we're back. Our guest this week is Lynna from Special Olympics Missouri. And so, Lynna, I'm sure if we have any listeners that are tuning in from either from Jefferson City or anywhere in your state of Missouri, they probably know you. But I'm sure we'll have a lot of listeners from across the U.S., maybe even across the globe, that might just be meeting you for the first time. So share a little bit with our listeners about your early years, some of the challenges, but then also the joys because of your disability.
Well, in my eyes, anyways. I got made fun of when I was like in middle school and primary. And it got better when I got to high school. I was in special ed classes pretty much like every day in the whole hours. I did get to go regular classes for a few hours, so that was nice. Let's see. I started Special Olympics probably when I was in middle school or elementary. Then I did it through high school. I took a break after I graduated from high school, which was 2008. Then my mom called me a couch potato. So I decided to get back into Special Olympics in my adult years. Mm-hmm. So that was in, I want to say 2011. Mm-hmm. So I'm on a Elite Summit team with my brother and my uncle, and haven't stopped being in Special Olympics.
Awesome. What team did you say in 2011 with your brother and your uncle? What type of team is it? We are called the Elite Summit Adults. Awesome. And what sport is it that you guys compete in? I think
me and my uncle, we compete on a 5-versus-5 team in basketball.
In basketball, okay, yeah. So internet connection is dropping a little bit, but so you said that it's a 5-on-5. It's basketball is.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I just this past week I started. After not competing because of the pandemic, I went back to basketball. So my basketball season just started this month. And then I want to comment on your early years. Just like you, I'm sure a lot of our other fellow Special Olympics athletes, but in special ed classes. But just like you, in my early years, classmates would make fun of me as well. And so I think that probably sadly is a common thing that happens to a lot of us athletes, right? In our early years. Yes. So, and share a little bit more about how you folks got involved in Special Olympics. Zoe, was it the sports side? Like a lot of times when we're speaking, we say the sports is the foundation for Special Olympics, but was it the sports or the social aspect, like making friends, that kind of drew you into this movement?
When I first started, it was like the sports, because I like to play the sports. So when time went on, I became social butterfly. So I was talking more and made friends. So
awesome.
A while, but
awesome. Well, we're going to get into much more of your story, and kind of this drawing from the sport as a foundation. We'll get into much more of your story when it comes to athlete leadership, health messenger, and the main topic about technology and athlete leadership in the next segment after this next sponsor break. So listeners, you will get to hear a little bit more, kind of a little bit more about Lynna's story after the break. But before we take that break, I did want to, is there anything else when it comes to the sports part of Special Olympics that you want to share with our listeners of kind of why you love the sports and athletic side of the movement?
Yeah. I also, like you said, I love the sports, and I love the message they give us, that they give out. And I love that the programs they have. So
yeah, so. And speaking of that message, are you talking about like, oh, athlete oath, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt? Like, are you talking about that athlete oath message, or is there another message that kind of drew you?
The oath.
The oath. Awesome. Yeah. So that's awesome. And I think I remember seeing that when I visited your Training for Life campus. I don't know if it was in the gym. It could have been someplace else on the campus, but that's a powerful, and I think that speaks to a lot of what you have shared in your story, and also what a lot of us athletes say, that it speaks to the love of sport, but it also speaks to the joy and the love and the inclusion that the unconditional love and joy and acceptance and inclusion that we bring when we're all connected around that love of sport and that love of competing, and that it then kind of translates into leadership and health and the health work of the movement, which we'll get into in this next break. Our guest is Lynna, calling in from Special Olympics, Missouri, right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back after this short break, if the banner goes up there on the screen. We'll be right back right here on SpecialChronicles.com. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly... Whoops, I played the wrong bumper. Let's go ahead. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us, you at Special Chronicles, to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they are literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And we're back. I've got the funny thing is, Lynn, I'll let you and the listeners down on the fourth wall of the studio. I've got like this little cheat sheet of audio clips. I've got some of them labeled, and then I kind of restructured the way I've got the audio clips for the for the podcast, and I need to kind of relabel it and do, because like this is color coded, but my cheat sheet is not color coded, so I think I need to. I think I need to like color code this and do it because like. So this is like the first episode back of getting back to these audio clips. So you guys bear with me. After this is 501, episode 501. So over 500 episodes later, and I still play the wrong bumpers. So let's we just have fun here at Special Chronicles. While we share stories, like Lynna, your story, where we're going to continue right now. So in the last segment, you shared about your love of the sport part of Special Olympics. Take us in first, maybe give us a kind of a basic definition in your words of what is an athlete leader. I know in our athlete leadership programs, whether you're in Missouri or I'm in Illinois, or across North America, or across the globe, with our Southern Strive for International Global Messengers, we all know what it is to be an athlete leader. And I think you're a perfect example of it. I know I'm a good example of it, and we've got a lot of others. But for those for those listeners who might not know anything about athlete leadership, kind of give us a basic definition of what is an athlete leader.
So to me, a athlete leader is someone who is example for their community and for the non-disabled community. We want to show the world that we can do stuff and that we might learn differently, but we still learn it.
Awesome. Absolutely. And that's a perfect definition of what an athlete leader is. And kind of jumping off of that, share with us a little bit more of how you became an athlete leader and why you are so motivated. You now, which we'll get into at the end of this segment, you're one of the, in Special Olympics Missouri, in your program, you're one of the only athlete leaders to have 2 degrees in your athlete leadership program, communication and technology, which I was at your graduation a month ago. But I believe you're one of the only athletes to have 2 athlete leadership degrees, right?
Well, at that weekend when you came, there was a couple athletes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but at the time before COVID happened, I was like the first one.
You were the first one. Awesome. And so share with us now a little bit about how you became an athlete leader and why you wanted to get involved in athlete leadership and be and kind of take your abilities, take your abilities from the playing field off and from the basketball court and off into the rest of the Special Olympics movement.
It's been like a really long time ago, but I remember that I saw, I think it was on Facebook, I saw something about athlete leadership. It's when Samo first started that program. And I was very interested by it. So I signed up and I got a mentor for myself. I went to the first class, which was in Kansas City. So that was good because it was local.
So you're in the Kansas City region of Minnesota?
Yes.
Awesome.
Kansas City Metro is called.
Awesome.
So I went there with my mentor. We did some classes. It was very long classes because it was my first time. I met Brandon, who now works for SOI now.
Mutual friend. He's now going to be, when we're in Berlin, he's in charge. He'll be managing all the schedules for 10 of us SSI jams. So, Brandon's a great guy. Yeah,
he's a great person. He really helped me through this whole journey. I can't thank him enough. But after that first session, I did my homework, which is called practicum. So after my practicum was done, I turned in. I wanted to do more because I was very interested in it. And seriously, it's like college classes for Special Olympics. So I got through it. I did all the classes. I think it took like 2 or 3 years. No.
2.
So.
Yeah, 2-3 years. Sorry, the internet's kind of cut in and out a little bit, but I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Are you still there, Lynna?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. I think my video might be a little. I think both of our internets are a little bit going a little crazy here. So hopefully we can get it back on. I think. Usually it's a little bit better than this. But is there anything, I forgot where we left off, but is there anything else about you becoming an athlete leader, or should we move on to health messenger?
I think we should move on.
Let's move on for the sake of time. So give us just like we did with athlete leadership, health is another, I think, Special Olympics International is, Special Olympics is the world's leading health organization for those of us with intellectual disabilities. So give us a basic, I just got trained as a health messenger a couple years ago during the pandemic, but didn't really finish the last project. So I guess I'm not really a certified health messenger, but so with that, since you are a certified health messenger, give us a basic definition of what is a health messenger. I think hopefully, I think the video might have frozen a little bit.
Yeah.
The video did freeze a little bit again. I don't know if you heard that last question. Oh, we are losing control of the microphone. Let's try to hold on. Let's try to unmute this. Sorry about that, listeners. Listening to the audio podcast, but it looks like Lynna can't hear me because StreamYard is muting my microphone. So let's try to get that back up. And let's try to get that audio back up. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me? You're probably trying to type in the chat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. So I'm recording on the Worldcaster Pro on this mixer. So I was trying to kind of fill in the dead air with my kind of talk. Okay. Let's kind of regroup and kind of wrap up this third segment so we can take our last break and then get to the final segment. But give us a basic definition of what is a health messenger, and then kind of go into how you became a health messenger. So just a kind of basic definition for people who might not know what a health messenger is.
Yeah, great. A health messenger is an athlete who shows those fellow athletes how to be healthy on like exercising, like Fit5 workouts, eating healthier, just try to encourage the fellow athletes to be healthy so they can compete better.
Awesome. And in addition to the Fit5, there's also like the School of Strength, right? And those types of health. So if our listeners, if you want to learn more, we did on Special Chronicles. If you go to specialchronicles.com/health, specialchronicles.com/health, you can listen to a inclusive health podcast series that we have. We've got a 5-part mini health series, and then we've got a 3-part inclusive health conversation series. So if you guys, if you want to hear more about the health programs, you can just go to specialchronicles.com/health. So share with us now, Lynna, about how you became a health messenger.
Yeah, so it was the year that I went to the Special Olympics National Games in 2018 in Seattle. I got chosen from Special Olympics, Missouri to be a health messenger. So after I went to Seattle, I had to do a video to say like why I want to become one and why I should. So after the games, I came back. I found out that I got accepted. Mm-hmm. So I think it was like a few months after I came back to Seattle that I went to Washington, D.C. with my dad.
Awesome.
He was my mentor for that. I did training, I think it was for one weekend. So we did so many trainings, and so many people. I made friends to the new health managers who was training with me. Mm-hmm. After the weekend, I got my shirt saying I am a health messenger, and I got a certificate saying I completed it. So
awesome. Well, I'm sure there's a lot more that we could say, that you could say about being a health messenger, but just for the sake of time, we'll move on. And you now have, as of a month ago, you now have 2 athlete leadership degrees in communication and technology. And so tell us a little bit about, briefly about, because I think we're at about 30 minutes of the episode right now. Tell us a little bit about what these two athlete leadership degrees are in communication and technology, and kind of just a little bit about the projects that you did for both of those.
Yes. So, of course. So I did a lot of classes, and really long classes. They were very interesting. I did a lot. I picked communications because I'm not very good with communicating things or what I want. So I found that really helpful for me, and I love technology, of course.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Awesome. I just to kind of add into what you said. If I'm sure you probably remember, like back the keynote that I gave talked a lot about communication, which I'm sure you could probably relate to. And I think I shared one thing, that communication is something that like everybody as a human uses every day. Like as humans, communication is one of those things that we use to be able to interact with each other as humans. So yeah, communication, I think, is a big part of that. Helps with everything that you do, everything that we do as in athlete leadership, that we do as an athlete leader, that you do as a health messenger, and yeah, anything that, whether you're speaking on behalf of your local Special Olympics program, on behalf of our North America region, on behalf of the globe, or even just in your local communities as well. And then technology. Share with us a little bit about your technology degree. And I think before you received your degree and your certificate, you displayed your project in the back of the gym, right, of the Training for Life campus. And I was really interested about the project that you did, which I think was showing athlete leaders how to create 1-minute videos. Like I know that's a big thing, especially when we post stuff on social media, like on Instagram Reels and stuff. It's all about these, either on Instagram Reels or Snapchat and stuff, and like all these. It's all 1-minute videos. So tell us a little bit about your project of 1-minute videos. Is it how to take your speech, or how to put your speech, or how to put your message into a 1-minute video, or kind of walk us through briefly a little bit about your 1-minute video project when it comes to technology?
Yeah, so my capstone project was to come up with 1-minute speech and record them. I talked about our leadership program, which ALPS, talked about inclusion, talked about let's see here. Healthy athletes, young athletes, pull and plunge that Somo does. And I think of the subjects I talked about.
Awesome. So yeah, hopefully if any other programs are listening to this episode, you can learn a little bit about these 1-minute videos and how to. I'm sure this is something that a lot of other athlete leaders can benefit from. How to take their, like how to write and deliver, how to write, deliver, and then film a 1-minute video. It probably takes a lot of time, right, to kind of figure out what your speech, what your message is going to be in 1 minute, and write it, and then process it, make sure it's 1 minute, and then film it, and make sure. Do you edit the video, or do you try to, like, when you write it and then you process it, and then maybe you have to rewrite it and time yourself? Do you make sure that it's 1 minute when you go film it, or do you record for longer than a minute and then you edit it down to 1 minute?
So first I write the speech down, then I time myself to see how much long I was. Then I videotape myself and I edit some like small things, but if there's like big stuff that needs to be fixed, then I'll redo it again. But yeah, I edit.
Awesome. So I'm sure that will be motivating for a lot of other athlete leaders. Before we take the final break and get to the final segment, to kind of wrap up this segment, you, along with I was sad that we didn't get to see each other in Orlando at the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games, because I was busy as a SSI GM and you were busy as a photographer and as a reporter for your program in Missouri. So I'm sure we were at a lot of the same events, but as you know, it was a pretty big event. 50 states and then a few countries in the Caribbean were there, so there was lots and lots of people, and it would have been fun to meet up in Orlando. But tell us a little bit about your role of what you did at the 2022 USA Games when it comes to, because just like you, I also love taking pictures, and I've got a Nikon and a Canon. I don't take that many pictures now, mostly just with my iPhone, but I love taking pictures as well. So tell us about kind of what you did down at the 2022 USA Games with reporting and photography.
So, so my role was to take pictures, of course, of the athletes competing and special moments that they were there. Then to like write stories. Like at the end of the day, I was asked to get some of the athletes, like how their day was and how they felt and how they competed. Special Olympics Missouri did a nightly recap on Facebook, so awesome. I was a part of that.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure that's something that like other programs can learn too. I know in Illinois, we just started an athlete led podcast, or it's more of like an athlete led video show called Meet the Inspired. Well, it's on Facebook Live. Where a few of us athlete leaders collaborate all shows and kind of in this one. So it kind of sounds similar to what you guys did in Orlando, and kind of also it sounds like similar to what ESPN does, right? With their coverage of all national and world games and the coverage that like the ESPN, like I think I don't know if you know Dana Schultz from Wisconsin. Yeah. Or
Dustin. I know her, but I've heard of her.
You've heard of her? Yeah. I've met her a couple times, but yeah, and then Dustin Plunkett in Southern California. So kind of like what they've done on ESPN, you have done in Missouri. So yeah, that's really excited. We're going to go ahead and take a final break. When we come back, we will get to some final plugs and how people can get involved in Special Olympics Missouri. And then the final question that we conclude all of these episodes with. And hopefully, if the video cuts out, hopefully I will remember to play the right button, because my cheat sheet doesn't have these next two breaks, sponsor breaks, labeled, so hopefully I'll play the right button. And our guest is Lynna, calling in from Special Olympics Missouri, is our guest on this week, episode 501 of the Special Chronicles show, 501 on specialchronicles.com. We will be right back we'll be right back right here on SpecialChronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting, the easiest, most affordable option to get started in podcasting. At Special Chronicles, we proudly host our weekly podcasts with Podbean and highly recommend you use Podbean Podcast Hosting to get started in podcasting today. Sign up for an unlimited hosting plan and get 1 month free now to get started in podcasting today when you visit specialchronicles.com/Podbean. That's specialchronicles.com/Podbean. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard, the easiest way to create professional live streams. StreamYard is a live streaming studio in your browser. Interview guests, share your screen, and much more. Stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Sign up for StreamYard today using our StreamYard Referral link when you visit specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. And we're back. Our guest is Lynna calling from Special Olympics, Missouri. And the video might have frozen a little bit, but hopefully I think we're back now. So this is the part of the show, Lynna, where we kind of begin slowly to wrap up. And before we get to some final thoughts and that final question, we want to have you share with our listeners how they can connect with, well, first you, and then I didn't put your social media on a banner, but how can our listeners connect with you as well as Special Olympics Missouri?
Yes, so Special Olympics Missouri has a website. You can go to somo.org. That is SOMO.org. To contact me, you can email me. My email is Lynna Hodgson at LynnaHodgson88@outlook.com. I'm also on a ton of social media, as Dana will know. And I also have a YouTube. So that's how you can reach me.
Yeah, so you have to, after when we get done recording on Facebook Messenger, you have to send me links to your YouTube, your Instagram, Facebook, and any of those social media links so that you want me to put in the show notes, and we'll make sure to put those links along with SOMO. I think you guys say SOMO, right? SOMO.org. Yes. And if you are not in the state of Missouri and you want to connect with your local Special Olympics program, you can visit specialolympics.org, and then I think from there you can click on programs and find your local Special Olympics program across the U.S. and all 50 states and across the globe in over 190 countries. So if you want to get involved, we definitely would invite you all to join this movement, join the inclusion revolution, and get involved in Special Olympics in your local program, specialolympics.org. And with that, Lynna, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with our listeners on your overall time here today on the Special Chronicles show?
I would just like to say that thank you for having me. If you want to get involved and you're not if you're not an athlete, you can still get involved being a unified partner or a mentor or just being a volunteer. As athletes, we love volunteers, and we just love to have the volunteers at our events and have them ask us questions, talk to us, and it's just great. Awesome.
Yeah, so you guys definitely go and get involved in volunteering or coaching or being a unified partner. And if you guys, again, are in Missouri, that's SOMO.org, or just go to specialolympics.org and find your local program to get involved. And we'll put all those links in the show notes for Special Olympics Missouri, as well as your local Special Olympics program. We'll put those links in the show notes for you to get involved. And with that, we can't conclude this episode without a final question that we always conclude, at least for the past few years. And to introduce that final question, we'll go ahead and play a bumble.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality.
Dignity. And the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution is inclusion. Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
And as you can tell from that bumble, and Lynna, for the past few years, ever since I came back from the 2019 Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, I've been concluding with the final question because, as you know, inclusion and the inclusion revolution is a big part of Special Olympics and this movement, and it's also a big part here at Special Chronicles. So we'll conclude with you as well and ask you, what does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion means to me that everybody matters. Everybody is included. Doesn't matter if you have special needs. Just this world needs to know that everybody's included. No one should be left behind.
Awesome. Well, that's a perfect way to wrap up this episode 501 of the Special Chronicles show. And for those of you listening, if you want, remember to visit specialchronicles.com/show is where you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new episode and go back and listen. I know I just, one of our new listeners from Special Olympics International, from the Organizational Excellence team, I was on a Zoom call with her a few days ago, and she told me that she actually listens. She goes and gets her nails done and pulls up Special Chronicles and listens to this podcast. So no matter if you are getting your nails done, if you're walking, running, biking, driving in your car, if you are flying on a plane, wherever you are, anywhere, anytime, on demand, you can listen to this podcast. And we love for you all to subscribe. And remember, if you love hearing Lynna's story and all these episodes, share it. Share it with your friends. Share it on your Instagram, on your Facebook, your Twitter. Text it to your friends. Tell everyone, because they will be empowered and motivated and learn something from all the stories that we are sharing right here on Special Chronicles and specialchronicles.com. Again, is where you can stream all of our archives of over 500 episodes for free. And we'll be back next week with, I think it's somebody, I'm still in the process of booking next week's guest, but as for the end of the year. So stay tuned. We have new episodes drop every Monday. Thank you again, Lynna, for coming on the Special Chronicles show. And we'll see you all next week right here on specialchronicles.com. See you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smikowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks as always to our business manager, Adam Smukowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smukowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.